I got a little story to tell about Mariana.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you realize, but years and years ago, in big cities especially, there would be one large library. But people didn't have cars back, 100 years ago or whatever, and so they would have to walk, kind of like Abraham Lincoln, to the library. And it would take them a long time, and it was very difficult. Well, Mariana doesn't look that old, but she is. And she came up with this idea, why don't you put in smaller libraries further away from the big library, and then people can go to those too if they don't have cars. And so that's what the communities did, but they didn't know what to call them. So then they decided, why don't we name them after Mariana, who came up with the idea. And thus the Branch Library was born. So
it's a little history I didn't know about myself. Yeah.
So that's...
I'm also named after a set of islands too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's...
And those things sticking out of the trees.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm recovering from our movie night last night. It was a late evening.
What was the movie?
Divergent.
Okay.
Yeah, we had about 200 people show up. It ended around, 11-ish. We were out of there by 11:30, so it was fun.
And what did you show it on?
We have the gazebo in the park, and we attached the side of one of those, a tent, the white panel, and it works beautifully. And it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't fly away or anything. It's on there pretty good. So
it's just a white panel?
It's just a white panel. You could do it with a white sheet if, you can pretty much make a screen out of a wall, a sheet, anything. And it works really well. And we have a nice projector. Our other one died recently, so we were able to upgrade a little bit. And we have a Blu-ray player, so it makes a huge difference, even outdoors. Yeah.
Do they call those Pico projectors? Is that?
I don't know. Yeah, but this one is, it has enough DPI to show the films properly. And it doesn't need a complete dark room either, which is nice.
So what time do you start them now?
We started, it was probably 8:40 because everybody was like grabbing popcorn and getting themselves all set up, so about 8:40.
Yeah, it usually gets dark around 8:30.
Yeah.
They're showing a film for D-Day and they said 9 o'clock or dusk, and I bet it'll be before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, probably 8:45 would be, I don't know, in 2 weeks. It's getting darker earlier, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's getting lighter later. Say that fast. Lighter, lighter, later. Yeah, I used to get up at 5:15 and it would be like bright out, and now I'm coming at 6:30. You can see the color coming in on the sky coming in. And
fall's approaching. It's kind of sad, but we're
in summer. I was doing the weather forecast, and it's 70 degrees, 70 and rain, 72 and chance of rain. And how many rain problems have you had on Sunday nights?
We haven't had any. The first movie we had, it was really close. It was storming before the movie, and then it cleared off just in time. And then we did Rio, and that one was a beautiful night. Last night was gorgeous. Full moon. It was beautiful. Not too buggy, so it was good.
And this week you're showing, is it Sherman and Mr. Peabody?
Yeah, Mr. Peabody and Sherman's on the 24th.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, it's like the last hurrah before school starts, so it'll be fun.
And what's this week then? Is there...
no movie this week. Yeah, you have to give us a little break in between so we can recuperate.
Putting that screen up and taking it down takes a couple of weeks.
And dragging out all the equipment and, because we've got a really nice set of speakers that you have to bring out, and the projector, and you got to roll, and the popcorn machine. So it takes a couple volunteers to help.
So you're probably like really tired here.
Well,
we could do a few more commercials than normal. You can put your head down on the desk there. Just don't duel.
We'll survive.
Don't duel.
Yeah. But it's well worth it. Last night we had a few people that had never been to one of our outdoor movies, which makes it even more worthwhile because they're like, wow, this is really neat. We've never been here before. So I think we're kind of growing a following with the movies now. So there's no stopping now. We got going.
We'll be doing those in the winter, showing them on the snow. Yeah. Movies on the snowbank.
It's unfortunate. We do our movies in the winter. The space holds just about 100 people. So last night we had almost 200 people.
Wow.
So it's, little different. We don't have as large of a space for the winter showings. But it's a little quieter too, I think, in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we'll continue it on, and we always have the mix of kids movies, especially during any like winter break, spring break.
So you do those at the center, Welcome Center across the road?
Yes, the CIMAC Welcome Center.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's getting a fresh coat of paint.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're really excited. The outside is just really coming together now that the roof has been completed, and now we're getting some painting done.
That was a really good decision. Obtaining that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
You have the computer classes over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any large event, any children's event, you know, that we have more than 12 kids, we need that space.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's come in handy. Otherwise, we don't really have a meeting space in the library. It's a little too small.
Everybody should know where the Kingsville Library is, and the Welcome Center is right across the street.
Yep.
Just don't get hit by any cars or anything.
Yeah. No, they drive pretty slow.
Yeah, that's good. Slow library.
Yeah, slow.
So yeah, I'm thinking about taking my grandson Henry to see the Mr. Peabody movie because I saw the coming attractions for it.
Yeah.
It was in the theater like 1 week, and I don't remember it after that. So.
Yeah, it's really a cute movie, and it deals a lot with history. The kids are going to have fun, but they're going to learn a little bit too, and that's always important, you know, that we're engaging them.
I'll have to prep them a little bit by showing them some of the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons that we have. So.
They get a kick out of that. My kids love the Three Stooges. I mean, there's, you know, bring back those classics.
I was watching the Three Stooges with my grandson yesterday, and it's the one where they had a gorilla on the loose, and I thought this was all new to Henry, and he says there's going to be a big explosion, blow everything up. I said, "Oh, you've already seen this?" Yeah. They also like the R Gang, Little Rascals.
Yes. Yeah.
And the last time they were there, I showed them the one where they had, it was called The Kid from Borneo, where the kid's uncle is like a wild man, and he likes candy, and he goes, "Yum, yum, eat 'em up." So this weekend I said, "Gramps, could we see Yum, Yum, eat 'em up?"
Aww.
So, yeah.
You know, there's another one too, the old Charlie Chaplin films.
Oh, yeah.
We just happened to be flipping channels, and we stopped on it, and my son, he's 11, and he was engaged. You know, there's no words, you know, so this is great. It's all that action, physical comedy, and they really enjoyed it. So
some of those are 100 years old.
Sometimes it's good to go back to the classics too.
Yeah, I showed Henry when he was kind of young, Safety Last with Harold Lloyd. And if you're not familiar with Harold Lloyd, he was very popular in his time. He's called the third genius behind Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. And if you don't remember the movie, there is a picture that everybody's seen of him holding onto a hands of a clock on a building. And the idea of the story is that Harold is working at a department store, and he's trying to get ahead. And at the time, one thing that they had was people that would walk on buildings. They actually did that because I don't remember, but I remember reading that the day before Thanksgiving in Connie at the one year in the 20s, they had somebody that was going to walk a building. Everybody watches this. So Harold Lloyd in this movie was going to have somebody walk on this up the top of a building, just holding on to bricks and stuff. But the guy was wanted by police. So the cops see him and they chase him, and so the guy says, "I'll get rid of the cops. You go up the first floor." So Harold Lloyd does, and he actually continues, and you know, people like throw stuff out the window, and he gets hit by different things, and they're called thrill comedies because at the time, movies were still, this is like 1924, and they actually had ambulances out there. People would faint seeing this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
I showed that to Henry, and he was fascinated by that. You know, the early scenes of stores, manic women in stores and that kind of stuff. That he wasn't that interested in that. But the climbing thing, he was really interested in that. So that's...
And that reminds me of a preview I just saw. We went to the theater on Saturday, the movie theater, and they're going to show Elvis's concert from Las Vegas.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, they like redigitized it, and then they show all the women like fainting and in the audience, and it was just great.
That.
Yeah.
He looked stoned to me.
He totally did. Yeah, although he was in pretty good shape. He was in pretty good shape.
He's kind of.
But yeah, he definitely didn't seem like he was all there. Yeah, that was really evident in that. So I think it's like one day only. You have to go and see Elvis in the theaters. Classic icon. So what else is going on? Do you want to know more?
Sure.
We're kind of just like, gearing up for everything going on. And with school starting up, this is our big time to like get out into the schools and go to orientations and get all the kids signed up for library cards. So a lot of what we're preparing for is that, and story time will start again in September. So if anyone has, young kids at home or grandchildren looking for something to do during the week, and go to every story time. That's what we tell people. You don't have to just, you can go to Conneaut's on Monday, and you can go to Kingsville on Tuesday, you can go to Harbor on Wednesday. You can find something to do every day with the kids if you're home with them. But we have an author coming, and I didn't want to forget to tell you about that. And I had to print out my information on her. Margie DeLong. Are you familiar with Margie? Her book is called Grand Observations, A Year of Weekly Visits to the Grand River at the Blair Road Bridge. So she has put together this book of stories. I meant to print out what was on Amazon, but it's got some really nice reviews. I know she's done an event already in the Asheville area. She has a nice PowerPoint presentation that goes along with that. So it's like 35 years of stories on the Grand River and her, experiences and experiences of others. So we're looking forward to that. And that's going to be on September 23rd. It's a Tuesday.
I wonder what kind of experiences that would be.
I don't know. I think there was one about a grandmother and a grandchild. Don't quote me on that. And I encourage people to go on Amazon if they have access to do so. Because there were quite a few reviews saying how it reminded them a lot about their childhood living in that area. So we're looking forward to having Margie there.
I love the Grand River.
Yeah, Grand River is a beautiful, beautiful place.
I went to an assignment at the Geneva exit of I-90, which is in Harpersfield, and I was about 15 minutes early, which was a miracle. And I could sit there waiting, or I could say, I'll go down to the Harpersfield Covered Bridge, and I shot some video and stuff there.
Nice.
It's really nice down there.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to having Margie there. And what's really neat is her book is $12, which is really inexpensive. You can have it signed by her, but she gives 50% of the royalties to the Western Reserve Land Conservancy.
So we talked about an author, and we talked about one movie. There's another one coming up, and you got another author coming up.
We have another author coming. We are working with our ICANN libraries, so we're trying to get everybody to understand who are ICANN libraries. So this includes the 6 libraries that work closely together, and we're
so this
also
is another acronym, right?
Yes.
For the second time today, I'm going to ask.
Independently Cooperating Ashtabula Network.
Oh,
and I deserve another prize for that. So that consists of Conneaut and Kingsville, Henderson, Harbor Top Key, Andover, and Rock Creek. So the 6 of us work very closely together to put together programming, and we share expenses that way so we can bring more to our communities and our patrons. And we're also on CleveNet together. So we're trying to offer more services through that excellent sharing system. So Henderson Library actually took the lead on this, and there's a local young adult author from Ohio, and her name is Mindy McGinnis, and she wrote a book called Not a Drop to Drink. And I'm reading it right now too, so I'm trying to be really good before she comes in October. So the event is Saturday, October 5th at 1 p.m. and it'll be out at Henderson Library, but we want everyone to know that they're invited to come in from all the different communities, from Ashtabula, from Geneva, wherever you are. You can go down to Jefferson. But her book is really good.
So what's it about?
It's kind of hitting upon, again, this dystopian theme is what we're hearing with all these different books that are coming out, between Divergent and Maze Runner and, all these. Even The Giver is kind of that theme. But she has written a book about a time where water is not readily available to everybody. And the setting is
like Toledo.
It's like Toledo, exactly. That's hilarious. Yeah, not for them, but yeah, for the analogy of the book. And she's an Ohioan, so she wrote this in Ohio. And there just isn't a lot of clean water for people. So they're kind of trying to defend their property because her and her mother live on a property with a pond. And of course, everyone wants to come and take the water from them. But it's really about her and her growth as a young adult. The girl's about 16 years old, and she has to grow up really fast. So it's really a fast-moving book, which is good for me and good for young adults, because we don't want to like read Moby Dick. No offense to that, but you know that can be hard to get through. So this is a very quick-moving book. I'm about 3/4 of the way, and I still don't know how it's going to end.
There is a lot more water probably in Moby Dick, though, than in this book.
Yeah. Although they need fresh water.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you said she's a youth author. So how old is she? Do you know? Or is she older and she writes for kids?
No, she works in a library, and I want to say she is in her 20s. I didn't look at her exact age, but looking at her photo and reading a little bit about her.
What's the age is the book geared for?
You know, the book, young adult is funny because they say it's really for kids. You know, I mean, it depends on the maturity of a child. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint the age. But definitely I'd say like 12 to 21, or, you know, I think their category is more like 14 or 16 to 21. But young adult books have been very attractive to adults. And we're seeing this more and more and more that, you know, we're labeling things as young adult, but the patrons that come into the library will gravitate towards those sections because they know there's really great selections there to read. And it's funny because like our audio books, we used to separate them out and put like juvenile in a whole different place. And we realized that was the silliest thing to do, because once we intermix them, adults were taking out juvenile, you know, audio books because it was just a really neat new title they've never heard of and they really enjoyed it. So really you shouldn't restrict yourself that way. When you go into a library, you should just go and explore, because there's so many different, you know, topics and formats and, you know, genres, and you just got to get in there and explore. And
if you have a kid that is just getting into reading, you know, like boxcar children or whatever, then, you know, it might be nice to be familiar with the books, and maybe you can engage them in a little conversation.
I agree with you, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to read this book first, because I have a daughter, and, you know, it's nice for me to preview those books before she's getting into them and reading some of them. You know, and that's kind of the parent's responsibility.
Right.
You know, you want to allow your children to have that opportunity to learn and grow. But, you know, as a parent, you should also be aware of what your kids are reading and not really stop them from reading it, but be able to talk to them about it, you know, and have a conversation about that.
There might be some things that upset them or...
Right.
No, just yesterday I was reading to Ben and Marcus. They're twin grandsons, and they're 3, and we were reading Cars and Trucks and Things That Go, which was their favorite book when they were 2, and it was their favorite book when they were 1. And when they leave the picnic basket behind, you know, that's kind of...
It's like Bambi's mom, you know.
We had them for the weekend, and my grandson's 5. He watched Bambi for the first time. And my wife is like, And at one point he says, they killed his mother, didn't they? And then he just went on watching it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough, but I like looking at our D-Day flyer here. An example is when my son was younger and his great-grandfather was in World War II, and he got a book from the library, and it was at the school library. And he came home and he had some questions because that's a tough topic.
Sure.
You know, for a kid to understand what was happening there, and we had to talk about it, you know. He was just interested because he knew great-grandpa was in the war, and he was actually looking for his name in the book. He was very young at the time. So, you know, it's, again, a good way to open up conversations with your kids.
Probably didn't want to watch Saving Private Ryan, at least the first one.
That was, I saw that in the theaters. I remember how thundering that was with the bullets whizzing by. And
people just dying.
But we're going to have a great event here in 2 weekends, right?
Yep.
It's going to be wonderful. The town will be full. Looking
it
forward
will
to
be.
that.
And like they had 800 before, and I thought it was pretty big then, and now they're going to 1,400.
Do they have 1,400? Yeah. I was not aware of that. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And I see the planes are flying around, and Yeah, they're practicing already, so that's been really neat to watch.
Yeah, I went to like the second or third one, and it was like, this is all right. But, and then I went to like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Boy, this is a lot better.
Yeah, it's an amazing event.
Yeah.
So full support of Kania. Yay, Kania.
Yeah.
Good things are happening. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's about all we had
Wasn't there
on
one other
those
thing?
topics. Well, we covered. Let's see. We covered our movie coming up on the 24th,
Right.
which is a Sunday night. Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Right.
That's PG. And then we've got our author in September, 23rd, Tuesday night. Oh, I did forget something. We talked about Mindy McGinnis coming in October
Right.
5th. We have our harvest sale. That's always Cover Bridge weekend. We always do our baked potato lunch and toppings contest.
Oh.
So the toppings are anything that would taste yummy on a baked potato. So we have people make, so we've had so many different things.
Do you provide the baked potato and they provide the toppings?
Well, it's a fundraiser for the Friends group. So it's like $4 or so. I don't remember how much it was. Very inexpensive for the baked potato lunch. Potatoes like this big, so it's like a meal. And then the patrons, it's a contest to make the toppings. So for the lunch, people get to try those toppings and then vote on them. So we've had everything from chili to chicken paprikash to stuffed pepper topping to broccoli and cheddar has won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's a lot of fun that day. And then we have another big book sale. So we're going to start taking donations probably at the end of the month. So if people have things they would like to, you know, again, do a little bit of fall cleaning and have some gently used books, DVDs, puzzles, you know, we would accept those for the sale. I think that's on the 12th. I think Cover Bridge weekend is October 12th, if I'm remembering right.
So 2 weeks, and then it's the last movie of the...
Yeah, last outdoor movie. We'll have the indoor movies.
Tell me, because I made a joke about winter movies, and you could show them on the snowbanks.
Yeah.
And then you go on and talk about, the winter movies. And they're not really going to have them on a snow, but so it's...
No, they'll be indoor.
They're in at
the Simac Welcome
Center.
And it has heat.
That's good.
Yeah.
And are those on Sunday nights?
No, well, you know, I'm not sure when we'll show them. We had tried Sunday, like matinee afternoons, and those were working okay. And then last year it kind of waned a little bit. So I think we just need to find that really good time, and maybe we'll go a Sunday evening then. In the winter, though, we don't want to pull people out when it's too dark and snowy, and you know, we try to get people home so it's a little safer drive for them. So probably a Sunday afternoon. It seems to work out really well. And then we'll need people's help to figure out what we're going to play, you know? I mean, it's easy once, like, the nominations come out for all the award winners and we start pulling out, like, maybe a Golden Globe and all that. But if people have requests, we're always open to that.
And there's no restrictions on what you can show?
Not really, no. I mean,
how does that work?
We have a movie license. There is a umbrella movie license, and it covers many different production companies. Outdoor movies are different, though, and people are surprised to know that. You do have to have a special outdoor movie license for such a film. Even if you have this umbrella license, it doesn't cover outdoor movies. And I don't know if it's just a way for them to make more money, or, you know, they know you're going to have a little bit bigger crowd with that. Otherwise, yeah, for most movies, some weren't covered last year, like 12 Years a Slave. That one was extra. We didn't have an opportunity to show that one. So, yeah, you just have to watch to see. But most of the movies are covered if they're a larger, you know, film production.
That's pretty
company.
nice.
Yeah.
I do have 12 Years a Slave on my iTunes, and what we could do is we could just start it and put it up against the camera.
I think you might be breaking some laws there.
Probably lots. There would
Probably
be a quality
don't want
thing
to do that, yeah. That's like taking your video camera to the movies and then videotaping it and then selling the DVD. Yeah, not legal. And the quality isn't worth it. So. Yeah, we did see Guardians of the Galaxy, though, over the weekend, my family and I, and it was really enjoyable. I mean, if you're a Marvel fan, if you know, get into those movies, and it was pretty good. Yeah. That
was the big movie of the week, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not sure what else is really out right now that would be.
Teenage Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's a shame. It's like PG-13 now.
Yeah.
I think they should have kept it.
The first ones I couldn't. My son gets big on the Teenage Ninja Turtles, and he goes out and buys all these VHS tapes of them.
Say the little
Then he
figures.
grows up and he leaves, but he leaves the stupid movies there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we got to dust them off.
Yeah, well, donate them to one of the libraries that's having a book sale. People will pick those things up. That's classic now.
Right.
Those are classic.
Keep mentioning my grandkids, but Henry, they discovered in a cabinet far off area that has VHS movies, which is new to them, and they opened them up and they were kind of fascinated by them. So
do you still have a VHS player?
Yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah. And in fact, get this, he pulls out Lady and the Tramp and says, "Can we watch this?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure." And then I looked at it. It was not VHS.
Oh.
It was Beta.
Oh.
And we do have a Beta machine down in the basement, but it is not hooked up. And I tried to hook it up real quick, and it just wasn't having it. So
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that you have a Beta machine in your basement.
Well, this is the funny thing. I don't know if I mentioned this on the air before, but it's a funny story to me. Is that woman I used to work with, she had a garage sale when her father died. And downstairs they found in the basement an old, like 1978 Sears Beta VCR. Now, right now you'd have to, if you were born that year, you'd be 36 years old or something. But it was new at the time, and it had the big dials, and it had the piano keys, and you turned the dial like this. And the only remote they had was you pushed it once and it paused it, and you pushed it again and it started again. So this is old stuff. But when this guy bought the thing, it was like $1,000. This was entirely new, being able to time shift a movie or a television show and watch it at a different time. He bought it, must have thought it was the greatest thing on earth, took it downstairs, figured he'd hook it up someday, never did.
Oh,
I bought it for $5.
Oh,
fresh out of the box.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
So I was just as an antique, it was kind of cool. When I brought it home and my wife says, "Oh, Robert, I'm so glad that you bought that great big thing. I love you so." She didn't really say that.
Can you find movies? Yeah. I mean, have you found it?
Well, I had a machine before, so.
Oh, okay.
But we don't use that too often. We don't use the VHS. I mean, all of a sudden the kids notice that, and that's where they watched Bambi.
Yeah, we still have the children's VHS at the library, but the adult ones really weren't going out anymore. So it seems
they take a lot of room up too.
Yeah, it seems like people maybe have put those like in the kids' rooms or something. I don't know, or in a basement for the kids to use and watch. So yeah, but slowly we weaned out the VHS.
VHS looked fine in 1992, but you put one in today, and it's like the colors are all smeared. It's like I got to clean off this TV screen because it looks hazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Someone brought me to Costco with them or something. We had to go shopping for a fundraiser, and they had this TV there, and I have never seen anything like it. I didn't stop to see what it was, but the picture was so amazing. I don't know if it was a new 3D TV or just one of the newer, upgraded ones, but I had never seen a picture like so clear before.
There's a TV, and I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like right now high-def TVs you buy at the store, 1080p, and there's some that are even higher, much higher than that. The only criticism I've seen is that there isn't any content for them. It's like 3D. There was a 3D ESPN and all this stuff, but people didn't buy the TVs. They didn't want the glasses and everything.
Right. Yeah. It was very cool, I must say.
Yeah.
It was very crystal clear. And it was like, I can't remember, was it like that curve? It might have been that curve shape.
Yeah.
That may have been which one it was.
So when you buy that, are you going to invite me over?
We're not buying that. Yeah. That's too expensive. That's not in the budget. Yeah. More basic. I didn't even grow up. I never had cable TV growing up. So I'm not that old, but like my friends did. They were all in the MTV era and stuff like that, but we didn't have that at home. So.
Well, where'd you live?
Well, it's not that I lived in a rural area.
I don't need to know your address.
No, I lived
Social Security number.
No, I lived in Strongsville. I mean, I was a West Sider of Cleveland. It wasn't that. It was more my bringing up and, immigrant parents and, you don't need that kind of thing. Right. And, and it was they were probably right. I didn't watch MTV as much as my friends did. So.
Well, I was a little older, and I can remember my parents, because the first cable TV we had, it was just giving you a better signal for your Erie and Cleveland stations.
For your basics, yeah.
And it was $4.50 a month, and it was like, we don't need another bill of $4.50 a month. But eventually we got the cable, and I went from $4.50 a month to $80 a month.
I know. Yeah.
My son does. He's cheap. He doesn't. He gets Netflix. He's cheaper. Andy at least has Amazon.com and Hulu, and Netflix. My son is just the Netflix, so he's pretty cheap.
You know what the cheapest?
He's at work right now, so he's not even.
I'm like, you know what the cheapest way is? Go to the library. We've got TV series. We've got Walking Dead, or just so many. Whatever you want, we've got them.
And you can stream them too.
And they're free.
You don't really even have to go to the library.
There's a few that get streamed. The selection isn't quite as big as we would like it to be, but it's growing slowly. And you can download music too. But you can get music CDs, and you can get anything.
There is a video online at www.sweet224.net. You're going to have to go down several, but there is one on how to get free magazines and streaming movies and free beer. Well, maybe the beer isn't in there.
No, that's...
Okay, but anyway, on our website, Mariana takes you step by step on how to get that stuff for free.
Yeah, were you able to splice it enough so it made sense?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't the easiest thing to do.
When you jumped up on the table and did a song in the middle of it, we cut that out.
So, if the video makes no sense, just stop in. Stop in at Conneaut, stop in at Kingsville. We'll walk you through. Yeah. We have live people that can help with that,
But you can't pause them. So if you go there and ask a question and you're like, I don't understand that, and you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Libraries really are a lot different than they were a few years ago, aren't they?
Absolutely.
I mean, when I thought of that when we were talking about outdoor movies. Everybody does the outdoor movies and all the different things. You didn't used to be able to get a baked potato at the library.
Yeah, I know. What a shame.
I remember as a kid going to the library and saying, "Can I have a baked potato?" They kicked me out.
Yeah, and a fresh baked dessert, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's changed a lot. I just read a news article on libraries and how quickly they're changing. But you have to remember, too, let's say 40 years ago, people didn't go to the library to access the internet either.
No.
So, I mean, it's just a constantly changing organization, and just it's there for the community. It's there to help people. So however things are changing, that's the direction we're going to go in. So whether it's going from books to electronic devices and offering both, helping people on computers so they can do their online resumes, because you can't go into a place anymore and just fill out a piece of paper and give them your resume or a job application. Things are changing, and we're trying to keep up with those times. And libraries are really becoming more of a community place. It's really a place for you to come and spend some time. It's not go and check out a book anymore and you just take off and leave. It's really a place to take a class, bring your kids to do story time, see a movie, so many different things to do.
Or bring your laptop in.
Bring your laptop in just to relax and have a place away from your home to work. That happens so much. We have a couple regulars that when they're at home, they get distracted. So they come in, to our place. And not only is it nice because you're kind of, seeing people every day and you have that social interaction, but also they can get away and just have that quiet space and not be distracted from everything going on at home. So, yeah. It's a great place. Don't be afraid to come in. People are afraid to come to the library. I don't know. Is it because when they were a kid, they checked out a book, they didn't return it, and they got a slap on the wrist, and they said, "You're bad, you didn't return your book." It's not like that anymore. It's more inviting. We want people to come out and enjoy the services we have.
It's kind of funny. I saw something on the radio or something. They were talking about a new service. We were talking about Netflix. It was a Netflix with books, so that you could read books, unlimited books for so much a month. And a person said, "This, it looks really nice. It looks like a really good deal." and went on about it for a little bit, and then she says, of course you can do it at your local library.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So this is a really great thing. You can pay a monthly fee, and I don't know, sometimes people think that it's cheating to get it for free, and I don't know, they feel bad about paying a monthly fee maybe, I don't know.
Hey, we've got our little kitty in the front. He's a little paper mache kitty, and hey, if you feel guilty, you can put a donation in there. We'll accept your donation. But no, these are your taxpayers' dollars paying for the services that you need. And,
right.
And, you know, hopefully we are providing everything that you need. And if we're not, let us know, and then we adjust. But we're very diverse, and that's the point, is to help as many, you know, young and old.
Do you still find that when the economy is not as good that you have more?
Yes, absolutely.
More traffic?
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, you don't have internet at home, you come to the library, you know, and that could be for work, that could be for pleasure, for downloading a movie, that could be for applying for a job, redoing your resume, taking a computer class. There's so many things. Yeah. So enjoyment to education, you know, it encompasses all of that.
So, switching gears a little bit before you leave, I wanted to talk to you about the story time thing, because you mentioned something about it's at Kingsville on Mondays, is it?
No, I was just throwing that out there. Like, go to every library.
Oh, I see.
There are no boundaries, so you can go, you know, to all different libraries.
When is yours?
I don't have that planned yet, but definitely Mondays. Mondays are our busiest days. So we were doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but
Story times every day?
Not every day, not every day. Those 3 days were our core days there at the library.
Okay.
But then other activities could happen, like a movie, for example. If the kids are off on a Friday, then we're showing the movie on that Friday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we bring it back, and
we will bring Miss Bethany back, right? Can we bring Miss Bethany?
Sure.
Because she's teaching story time.
It may be a small fee for you to bring her back, but we can do that.
Yeah.
But maybe we can get you back a little closer to fall. It's a little bit like maybe tomorrow.
Such a shame.
I know.
Just we need a couple more days in the 80s so I can go down to the beach and enjoy.
Yeah, I have not been in the water yet.
Yeah, it was a little chilly Saturday. I was down there Saturday.
So where do you swim?
Well, I come up to Conneaut, of course.
Oh yeah,
that's the best beach. You better believe it. Yeah, I did yoga on the beach. I'm going to plug the yoga house now.
Well, that's where one of the places I found out about the yoga house was from you.
Yeah.
We did a little video on that.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the yoga house, yeah.
Just real calming, relaxing, and stretching, you know. And after sitting at a computer all day, you know, that's a good way to release all that tension and just, you know, get everything back in line where it's supposed to be. And the beach is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. And Saturday was crazy. There were 2 weddings there. There were at least 2 or 3 reunions that we saw. It was just hopping.
You didn't like follow them out and go to the reception?
No.
That's good.
No. We had other plans. We were there early in the morning, so we saw everybody setting up. So I hope they had a gorgeous day. Yeah. Congratulations. Whoever you were getting married on the beach. It looked beautiful.
We're sorry we didn't send you a gift.
Yeah.
It was a nice weekend, though.
Yeah, it was.
We went to the fish hatchery thing there in Linesville.
Wow.
So that's always fun.
Yeah, that's neat. I was down in Cleveland at the Cultural Gardens.
Oh.
They were opening up the 2nd phase of the Croatian Gardens, and that's my heritage. So my kids were down there and with their dance group doing some, you know, performing for the event. So it was fun. Very good. Good to get them out and to see all the different areas. So, yeah, it's still alive and vibrant down there.
Good.
We had a good time. It was a beautiful weekend.
It didn't snow?
No snow. That's a bad word.
It sure is.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on today.
Yep. Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
We'll have to do it again. We'll have to when you get your story time.
Yes, absolutely. And then we'll do reminders about these author visits coming up because it'll start getting really busy again here in the fall.
People could go to the library and get a book and read the story to their kids themselves.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And all these movies coming out, they're all books. I was telling my kids over the weekend, you know, read the book because the book is always better. There's
Right.
very few cases where the movie is better. So we like to start with the book first.
Yep.
Yep.